they re-enabled shekel trading. Let me show you the exact post I'm talking about. DJ Jai, first thing this morning at 6:55, re-enabled shekel trading, and they added a tax. And the tax is any amount of shekels traded will now have a 10% fee each trade. That's wonderful. That's totally not going to solve anything. I had hope that the developers knew what they were doing, but it's clear that they think they have a solution to the problem, and they're not willing to do the hard things necessary to fix the shekel situation and fix the downfall of this game. What am I talking about? Let me show you some numbers. Let me show you some stats. I'm a YouTuber. I love stats. Let me show you what I found. This right here is a bunch of charts comparing Grow a Garden to Steal a Brain Rot over the past 6 months, 7 months. And it's not good. If we take a look at the Grow a Garden section and we look at the concurrent player base, you can see that there was a beautiful upward trend, and now there is a clearly defined downward trend. This can also be seen in the number of new visits occurring every single day. As you can tell, it is trending downwards. And you may be thinking to yourself, Crow, that's just Grow a Garden. That's just because school is back. Yeah, I thought so too, until I looked deeper. School is back for Steal a Brain Rot as well. And Steal a Brain Rot is still slightly trending up, maybe leveled off, but at least leveled off and not decreasing. Take a look at the number of new visits that Steal a Brain Rot has. At least leveled off, potentially trending up. And all of this data paints a picture that Grow a Garden hit a peak much higher than Steal a Brain Rot, but is now trending downwards. And you're probably gonna be saying to yourself, Crow, that's just Steal a Brain Rot, right? You know, they're directly competing. They're talking about each other. There's gotta be an explanation for this. I thought so too, until I pulled in a third game. This right here is 3 charts. Grow a Garden, Steal a Brain Rot, and beneath my face is 99 Nights in the Forest. Watch this. Where Grow a Garden is trending down and is now in the 1 million to 2 million range, and Steal a Brain Rot has leveled off in the 1 million to 2 million range, 99 Nights in the Forest is trending up to over the 2 million range. Both other games are actually losing. Oh, and this chart right here is YouTube search traffic. I looked at YouTube specifically, not Google. YouTube search traffic in the United States in the past 90 days. And you can see that Grow a Garden, the blue line, has dropped down to the level of Steal a Brain Rot, the red line, and 99 Nights, the yellow line. So my argument that I'm about to present forth to you here in this video, that the other 2 games have become as popular as Grow a Garden. So part of the reason why Grow a Garden is losing players is school. Part of the reason why Grow a Garden is losing players is because other games are growing to take their place. So that's okay. That's just competition. That means hopefully the developers do better to win back those viewers. But now we're going to talk about the shekel problem, which is why I think Grow a Garden gave up its position in the first place. What am I talking about? Let's talk about the largest percentage of players that play this game. And those percentage of players are not the ones that watch my videos. Those players are not the ones that look at trading guides, are not the ones that even look up videos on how to grow the most ridiculous plant in the game. Those players are just the players that log in to see how great their crops have grown, how nice their plants are, how many mutations they have, and then they can sell them to buy some of the new rarer plants in the seed shop. They're casual players, and that makes up millions of players. So what's going on? Why am I talking about shekels? Why did I show you all that data? And why are we talking about casual players? Let's wrap this all up together in a nice, beautiful bow, shall we? The game loop for Grow a Garden is as such. And what do I mean by the game loop? I mean like the thing you do when you play the game over and over and over and over again that gives the game its addictive quality. MMORPGs know very well what a game loop is. Gacha games know very well what a game loop is. A game loop is what we do to play the game that keeps us hooked and addicted to the game. The game loop for Grow a Garden, for most players, is that belief that I plant rare plants and I have my pets to help me plant those rare plants and affect those rare plants. And they get me shekels. And those shekels allow me to acquire even better plants, which can get me even more shekels to get even better plants and more shekels and more plants and do the events and get more cool pets and more cool plants to get more shekels to get more pets. That's the game loop. You see where this is about to go. The game loop has slammed shut for a humongous size of the player base. How did it slam shut? Because all of a sudden, little Timmy is in Grow a Garden. He's in a public server. And he sees somebody, not just one somebody, but 3 or 4 other somebodies with quintillions and sextillions of shekels. And one of them walks up to little Timmy and goes, "Little Timmy, I love that random dinosaur you have, the Pachycephalosaurus. Here's 6 sextillion shekels for the Pachycephalosaurus." And little Timmy's over the moon. He's like, "Oh, I just made 6 sextillion shekels for a simple dinosaur. This is the best." And then within a handful of days, he stops playing the game. Why? Because the game loop was broken. The simple system that made him want to log in every single day and check his plants and see how much they're worth and log in when a new weather comes up to put mutations on his plants. Gone. He doesn't need shekels anymore. So he doesn't need new plants anymore. He realizes that, why am I bothering planting anything? Why am I bothering gathering mutations? Why do I care to log in on these Saturday mutation events when I have 6 sextillion shekels? I can buy 1 trillion Grandmaster sprinklers. I can buy 1 trillion lollipops. It's broken. It's broken. The wheel is busted. So the developers finally decided to try and do something to fix the game. They decided to lock shekels and then introduce a rebirth system to remove shekels from the game. Because even after you pay the 1 trillion shekels to activate the rebirth, all your other shekels are gone. It wipes away sextillions of shekels in the game. But they didn't do it good enough. And they forgot one little, I'm not going to curse because this is a general audience channel, but they forgot one little rodent. They didn't forget the rodent. They chose not to address the rodent in the room, not the elephant, the rodent. This little guy right here that continues to duplicate fruits for free. It's duping. It's duping. Duping's bad. You know that. You know that. Duping in games is bad. This guy dupes for free. Legally, in-game, every 15 minutes, times 8, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, endlessly for forever. But Crow, we were about to say, the developers put a 1 trillion cap on any fruits you sell in the store. So it doesn't matter the raccoon grabs stuff, they can only grab things for 1 trillion. Wrong. I own raccoons, I have 6 of them. They farm my $30 trillion dinosaur, and when I sell my $30 trillion dinosaur to the store, after receiving it from the raccoons, they sell for $30 trillion, and that's just me with a perfectly fair dinosaur. I didn't abuse the Nihon bug to make bone blossoms into the sextillions. People have. They still exist, and raccoons are still farming them to this day. So we didn't fix the raccoon problem. And we didn't even leave the Ascension system in place long enough to pull shekels out of the market, because people with sextillions of shekels and non-millions in shekels and octillions of shekels looked at the Ascension and went, "There's nothing in there I want. There's nothing in here I need. I'm not wasting my octillions and sextillions of shekels because there's no point. There's nothing of value." There is not a single reward in this system that somebody with octillions of shekels needs. There was no incentive. The incentive was weak. And as such, people still sat on their octillions of shekels. What the developers should have done and should do is, 1, remove the raccoon's ability to duplicate fruits and give it a completely different, irrelevant ability. Just completely nerf it. Make everyone cry. It does not matter. For the long-term health of this game, it matters. And this will circle back into the charts I showed you, but we'll get there in a second. Then they should have put things into this shop that those people with octillions of shekels would want. Why do they have those shekels? It's easy. Because they wanted to buy pets from other players. That's what they were doing before, and that's what they're going to wait to do later. What they should have put in this stupid little Ascension system is a pet to end all pets. A pet that is 10 days worth of garden coins into the system, a 100 garden coin pet, a 200 garden coin pet, something that would take the person 10 to 20 days of garden shekels to farm. And that pet should have been disgusting. It should have been a red dragon with an insane ability, something to make the people with octillions of shekels sweat and think to themselves, "Sure, I've got these shekels. I can't trade them right now, but man, look at that pet 10 to 20 days into that garden Ascension system. Ooh, that pet would sell for so much. I need that pet. Screw the shekels. I'll farm up more shekels. Give me that pet." Something, anything in the system to make the people with quintillions plus sweat and want to trade them away. But you didn't. The raccoon is still duplicating shekels endlessly for forever. There's nothing in the shop making those people with sextillions of shekels worth of money willing to ruin it all and get rid of it all to acquire. And then you re-enable shekel trading with a 10% fee. What is that going to do? Yes, I know how taxes work in video games. I actually took some programming classes in college. I have a little bit of education in game theory. I understand, but it's just not enough. It would be enough if you didn't have the raccoon duplicating money in the game endlessly for forever. I'm very passionate on this topic because this game is excellent and this game is perfect for the general audience, and the general audience deserves a game that is great for them. Because here's what the developers are not seeing. They're not seeing the big picture. They're not seeing the long term. Why did I show this chart? Because I wanted to point it out to you. I wanted to underline one thing. This says steal a brain rot. It doesn't say steal a garden or steal something more eternal. It says steal a brain rot. And a brain rot is a trend that will end. Believe me, I've been a YouTuber for 10 years. And in those 10 years, I have seen trends come and go on Roblox and other games. Remember Five Nights at Freddy's? Do you remember Siren Head? Do you remember Rainbow Friends? Do you remember Sprunky? Do you remember the Amazing Digital Circus? Do you remember the Backrooms? Do you remember the first time we went through, what was that game? Squid Game. Remember all these trends? They all die. Brain rots is just the most recent trend. It will die and be replaced. This game has a shelf life, a limited time to stay in the sun. Eventually, that sun will set. Grow a garden, however, is an eternal concept. Gardens don't stop. Gardens are not a trend. Growing a garden is not a trend. Growing a garden is an eternal thing. The developers need to have a long-term view on the health and prosperity of this game. They should not be competing with Steal a Brain Rot. They should be ignoring and disregarding Steal a Brain Rot. It's not worthy of them. Grow a Garden is a far superior game, and it can be a superior game, but they need to clean it up. The raccoon must die. The shekels must be deflated, and the game must be cleaned up. If it causes short-term pain, it will make long-term gain. I truly believe this. I have 6 raccoons in my inventory that are duplicated somehow, and they're trapped there, and I don't care if they have no ability. You can take away their ability completely. It doesn't matter to me. Because as soon as you do that, you turn off the faucet. What you're doing with the 10% shekel tax is like, let's imagine my office is flooding. It's flooding. And there's a faucet, there's a leaking pipe over there, and the pipe has a gash in it, and it's flooding water into my office. And you putting a 10% tax on it is like me trying to mop it up. Sure, I can mop it up. Look, I'm up. Squeeze it into the bucket, mop bucket, dump the bucket. I can mop it up all day, every day, endlessly for forever. But until you fix that leak is the raccoon duplicating shekels into your economy endlessly for forever. Until you solve that, you can mop it up as much as you want. You can bring in 2 mops. You can bring in 10 mops. It's not enough. It'll keep going. It'll keep gushing into my office. So the raccoon needs to go, and the shekels need to be solved so that Grow a Garden can have a long-term future. Because it's one of those concepts, one of those games that comes by every only once in a while. And if you take care of it, like a garden, it'll grow into something beautiful. But right now, bugs are infesting it, and it's going to die.